Today is October 4th, 2023, and this meeting is for our LJ real estate agents. And we're going to go through the commission, the interest rates. But the most important topic we have for today is going to be the commission that we barely touched on last week, but we were waiting for some comments from NAR, and we just want to give you guys the most updated date that affects you guys big time when it comes to commission. We want to get paid. Sometimes we assume that we will get paid if it's listed on MLS. Things will change, so we're going to go in depth with that. We'll spend 15 to 20 minutes on that. So we do need your feedback. So when that topic comes, just let us know how you actually feel and how will it affect you representing the buyers. Okay, so let's get started with the interest rates. Right, you're not going to see like what you see here, but according to Freddie Mac here, the interest rates as of last week were 7.31, and that is the highest range that they saw. But according to your Mortgage News Daily, it hit 7.72. Okay, that is the highest that we have seen so far. Right, the last time the highest we saw was around 7.65. It jumped to even higher than that now. Okay. Your FHA client might be able to get a little bit lower interest rate, but still above sevens now. Okay. So what does that mean when it comes to your monthly payment, right? So we're going to compare this. If you have a loan for, let's say, for $500,000 and you're going with 5% interest rate, everybody wish that they can get this. For that, for your principal and interest only, that payment is going to be 2684, so around $2,700, right? So if this person is buying a house in Long Island and the taxes are 12,000, to do simple math, right? If they're in Long Island, the taxes are $12,000 per year. That gives them, monthly of $1,000. So you add $1,000 to this for the taxes, so you're at 3684, right? On top of that, you have your home insurance. To keep it simple, let's say your home insurance is $1,200 for the whole year, which is $100 per month. So you would add to that as well. So when you see that, hey, you're adding around $1,100 to $2,700, you're gonna be hitting close to four, right? But now if that person gets 6% interest rate, again, people wish they can get this, it jumps from 2684 to 2997, right? Just for the principal and interest. And now we're seeing in the sevens, and that is going to take them even further to $3,400 or 3326. But coming months, we are expecting the interest rates to go higher before they go any lower. So we might probably see interest rates of 8%. So if the national averages that you guys saw here, 7.72, does not mean you or your client will qualify for this. You might get higher or lower depending on your situation. But let's say if the client is going with 8%, their monthly mortgage just for principal and interest is $3,600, right? So when you're comparing that to your 5% with this, it's like even when you add your property taxes and your insurance, you're coming up with this now, right? On top of $3,600, you got to add another thousand, that's $4,600, right? So you're looking at least $1,000 difference when you going from 5% to 8%. So the point of this presentation is to let you guys realize, hey, the interest rates makes a huge difference when it comes to your monthly mortgage payment. And you probably showing clients properties for a couple of months now, or maybe even a year. And that person is thinking that, hey, their mortgage might be around 2,900, whereas now it might be around 3,600, right? So that will definitely tell, they will say, hey, Sclaren, show me a property that's going to be in even a lower. I'm not looking for 625 no more. I'm probably going to go with 575. That's my range. So the range drops as these monthly payment increase, right? So huge differences from 5 to 8. We're going to go over that in the future, see, if the interest rates will come down anytime soon. But we have to deal with what we are seeing at the moment. If you have a client, you're showing them this is what they're going through. They probably, you're asking them, hey, let's put in an offer. They might say, hey, let me run with my loan officer again and see if I actually qualify or what my monthly mortgage is going to be based on this property that we're about to put in the offer for. Okay. So big difference between 5 and 8. Okay. So in the news, guys, here, all the news were in the red, meaning because the interest rates were high. So all the news outlets were on the same page, stating that rates soared to 23-year high now, right? So what does that do? What does that cause? That cause both buyers and sellers to hold out for better circumstances. They might saying, "Hey, I don't know if next year is going to be better for me or not, but today doesn't seem like a good day." When you're going through that and you want to purchase a property, it's a huge deal. You're not going to purchase one property every year, probably once in a lifetime. So they're going to take their time and deciding what they're going to do. There will be consequences for waiting as well, that. But just today, they just feel like, hey, I'm on the highest end. I'm probably not going to put in an offer uh, because I'm reading all these headlines. And another headline is mortgage rates expected to remain high in the lead up to 2024. Okay, this is one of the in the articles there is that I don't see anytime soon that we're going back to 203s. Forget those 203s unless we get through another pandemic. I hope we never do, but we will never see 203s in our lifetimes, most likely. But probably between 5 and 7, that's the range that they're forecasting. That's what we're going to be living in for now, right? So even the average mortgage lenders, like we said, 7.7 is the highest for, even this is for your top tier conventional loans. These are the people that have good credit. Okay. So now if the credits are worse, the different lenders will give even higher interest rates. Many borrowers are seeing 8% or higher, right? So when you see eights, just expect that that's going to be the new normal for at least a couple of months. Okay. Next, these are your stats for your pending sales. These are for a report for August 2023. That month over month, that there was a decrease in pending sales. These are deals under contract, -7%, and year over year, -18%. And that's the effect of the high interest rates, and that's what is expected um, in September as well, right? So our Lawrence Young, you guys know him from NAR. He's a chief economist. It says it's clear that increased housing inventory and better interest rates are essential to revive this housing market. So right now, is both of them are not in your buyer's favor. There's not a lot of houses out there, and the interest rates are high. So the buyer, they're stuck in that. Hey, I'm renting out right now. I just don't know if I want to buy, right? And they're going through the same dilemma week over week. The house prices are not dropping because there's not enough out there. If the inventory is low, it's just simple supply and demand. So these are reports from different sources, right? And every source is indicating one thing, that the prices are not dropping. This could be from your Case Shiller or FHFA, CoreLogic, Black Knight, Zillow. These are all top companies that hold data, and they're tracking these house prices for many, many years now. So you can see in July and August is coming up. So we know that these home prices are not adjusting. Again, the inventory is not there, right? The way the interest rates are, the buyer pool of buyers are decreasing. Let's say you have a listing now, right? You probably have a hard time finding that right buyer because you're looking for that price and you're not getting it. On the other hand, we have seen properties on Zillow, seen it on our MLS where the prices are decreasing. I'm having a conversation with our agents that have listings and they want to decrease the price. Again, if they want to sell quickly, they want to decrease it, it should be perfectly fine to do it, right? Because the last over 3 4 years, the prices have been skyrocketed. Even if they adjust a little, it should not matter to us as long as we can put in the offers. If you're on the listing side, you want to sell quick, you want to decrease a little bit, you should do that. Okay. So what may happen to house prices over next year, right? Some people say, hey, I'm going to just wait it out. I'm going to wait it out next year. What's going to happen? The home prices are on track to increase by additional 3.4 annual, right, through August of 2024. This is the prediction. And if they're saying 3.4, it might be a little bit higher, it might be a little bit lower. But over the months, it just the prices has been going up. Okay. All right, guys. Next, let's talk about Queens itself, right? We have seen the home prices in Queens, they have been going up. You can see above around 4% here, 6% here, 9% here, right? Over the years, anytime you purchase a property, even in this market, you will see some appreciation on your property. You will have your equity built, but really depending on how long you're going to live there. If you have a client and the client is just saying, hey, I have a temporary job, I might be living in Queens, or I might move down and get married in Long Island, or probably go out of state, then is not the best thing for them to purchase a house and be tied into that, right? Because they're not too sure. But on the other hand, if there's a person here that has a family, that has a steady job, and is renting for 5 to 10 years already, they're going to purchase the property. Those are the clients that you, when you're talking to them, those are the clients that will buy with you because they or have been renting for quite some time, and they don't have any plans to move out anytime soon from that area, right? So you can see historically, and this is going back 63 years. So over the 63 years, we have seen 2008 pandemic as well, where everything went, the house crashing of 2008, COVID. We have seen everything, right? But you go back even 63 years, just looking at those numbers, that you can see that the appreciation was close to 5% in Queens, and over the 10 years about 5, and then over last 5 years we have seen it went over above 6. Even if you don't get 6, even if your house is appreciating at every year 3%, 4%, that's a good investment for you. Okay, so don't think even when you have interest rates of 8%, should I buy or not. If you're well qualified, it might be the best thing to do if you can get it at the right price. Okay. Household income, people living in Queens here, around $82,000 is their medium household income, compared to 74 for your national average, right? Affordability is around 70, index is 71%. And this is pretty interesting here too for your age demographics, that 27 to 35% is the majority of the people that's living in Queens here. These are the same people that will purchase a house one day, right? They might be the first time home buyers. Again, this is what you want to target. If you're doing your own advertisement on Google, on Zillow, or anywhere, and if it gives you the option, hey, which age you want to target, you should pick between 27 and 35. That's going to be your majority of your clients there. Okay. And looking at homeowners versus renting, right? People who are renting, there are about 1.1 million people, which is around 49% of the people that's living here are homeowners, and another 38% are renting. And then there's 13%. This is what you want to focus on as well. 13% of them, which is around 300,000 people, that are in Queens, just in our borough here, over 300 people that are renting, and they can afford to purchase a house today, right? And that's a good number. You don't see this population in probably another county or a different state, or with a small neighborhood. We're living in Queens with over 2 million people living here. So if you want to target those people, this is where you want to target your advertisements. Okay. Again, you probably hear this a lot right now from your clients. I'll buy next year. So you should come up with this. This is what was on MPS Highway, which we use a lot here. Acting versus waiting. If you're acting now, when it comes to buying a house, you know the cost of acting. It's going to be your down payment, it's going to be your closing cost, and you know that you have to worry about your monthly mortgage. Even if you wait next year, you have to go through this. You still have to do your down payment, you still have to do your closing cost, you still have to make your monthly mortgage payment. But what you're going to miss out on is the prices. That with the when there's going to be more borrowers out there, when the prices when the interest rates do come down to 6% or 5%, there will be more people out there. You have missed out on the equity that you start building if you have bought it today. It's definitely going to be more expensive to buy a house later, just because there will be more buyers out there. Okay. Again, we'll share all these slides with you later on today so you guys can review it. Okay. So next is going to be the topic of the day that affects every one of us here as realtors. There has been a lawsuit against Remax and other company. There's a company called Anywhere that's a parent company for a lot of other brokerages out there. And one company, Remax, has settled their lawsuit for $55 million and another one for $83 million, right? And there's a case going on for NAR that the whole lawsuit came about is like, why should a seller pay commission for the listing agent and for the buyer's agent? Why is our MLS is saying that we cannot just put up a listing on MLS and not pay the buyer's agent, and the buyer's agent has to get paid from their buyer side, right? It's going to affect every one of you guys. So in the beginning, when you guys joined, we said, hey, when you're looking at property on MLS, as long as it's listed on MLS, just be rest assured that you're going to get paid. That's not going to be the case anymore. Things are changing, so we need to stay up to date with that, right? We send out a PDF file to you guys, and that was the email that we received from One Key MLS, and they're saying that the National Association of Realtors, which is NAR, has been mandating rules that every time we are putting up a property on MLS, that we have to make sure that we are paying the buyer's agent, right? So they responded back after the Remax has settled that $55 million, and you can see here that firm also agreed to stop mandating, right? Stop requiring basically sellers to pay the commission for the buyer's agent, right? So MLS is saying that if you are a listing agent now, you want to put up a property on MLS, you can practically just put in 1 penny or just put $0, okay, in your listing. So what that will do is that when you see on your status, you probably see this is the old one and this is the new one, right? The old one, you probably see seller's comp or seller's agency comp either 0%. That was okay before as well. We did not know or did not need to know what the listing agents was making, right? It might be making more than you or less than you. Most likely they're making more than you when they put 0%, right? But buyer's agent was required you, so you probably see 1%, 1.5, or 2. That was our normal there. You probably will see on some listings that it will say buyer agency comp 0%, right? So you should call up that listing agent and make sure that are they actually paying any comp to you or not before you do the showing. Okay. So MLS is saying that we understand that, because of these lawsuits and everything, we just want to stay safe as MLS, One Key, right? NAR, when you look at National Association of Realtors, that's the whole United States, right? That's put up with all the other MLSs. But our MLS, One Key MLS, which we are part of, that you guys just paid $551 to, those are that company is saying basically that you guys can put in 0% as a listing agent because the government is saying that the seller should not be required to pay both of the comps. They want to follow that rule. Okay. So you guys tell me now, what do you guys think? Right? We're gonna tell you guys how to stay secure, how you're gonna get paid from the buyer side. But what do you guys think that it will affect your business? Right? Should seller Yeah, go ahead, Sclern. Buyer will. Correct. Correct. Yeah. So you want to be competitive, right? So if you want to be on the lowest end, it will be 1%. If you want to be on the highest end, it's going to be 3%. I don't think any buyer will pay any 3%. Let's say, Sclaren, you're asking for 3%, and Rupinder goes in and she say, hey, I'll take 2%, and then Sheldon goes in and say, I'll take 1%. Who you think that the buyer is going to work with? Probably Sheldon. Sheldon is charging 1%. Okay, fine, I'll go with that. Or Rupinder will say, hey, no, I will do, I this is what I have done so far. I can make this happen, and they're really good with it, and he's okay with 2%. He probably go with 2% with Rupinder, right? So one, two, or three should be when you're having that conversation. Three definitely being on the high end, one definitely being on the low end. You probably want to start with two and sticking with two, right? And see how that gets negotiated. Um, but who's going to be paying it? Definitely the buyer. How about if? Go ahead. No, no, go ahead. Yeah. Yes. Yes. So I'm going to jump the gun here. So that form that you're talking about, this is instead of getting your agency disclosure signed, that just simply says, hey, you're representing that buyer, right? But there's another one, exclusive transaction broker agreement, right? So this is the form that you need, and we're going to go over that form real quick. I believe someone just commented. That was a buyer's okay. They will do sellers okay. That's also it's gonna be hard. So, correct. So, Rav, so definitely, right now is gonna be a little bit tough. But right now, we're just telling you guys that on MLS, you probably see a new listing in Valley Stream and say, "Hey, this is a good listing. I want to show it," and might say comp zero, right? Then we do have to work that out, right? The listing agent. How about let's think about the listing agent. If you're the listing agent and you put up a property on MLS and you put 0%, there's a good chance, just like it's going to be hard for you to talk to your buyer, you're probably not going to show that property, right? That's one. You probably say, hey, I don't want to show this because I'm not making that commission. You guys, some of the agents are already doing this when the commission is low. I never recommend that you guys do this, but if the commission is 2% on one property and then the commission is on 1% on another, they go with that 2%, try to push that property because they're making more money. That shouldn't be the case. You want to go with whatever they like best. But now, if the listing agent puts a 0%, he's going to have less eyeballs, right? He's going to have less people coming to that property. So, when the listing agent is still going to these presentation, they should still continue to do what they were telling them. We shouldn't just make it mandatory. We shouldn't require a seller to pay the commission. We should tell them, hey, if you want to sell this quick, pay me 3%. I'm going to share one and a half with me, one and a half with the other agent, or pay me 4%. I'll keep two. I'll give two to the buyer's agent, and we can get this ball, we can sell this property a lot quicker. If you just offer me the commission of 2% and not the other side, when I put it on the market, you will not see a lot of eyeballs. So that's the conversation you're going to have with the seller too, right? And how about if the seller wants to sell and he has three different appointments with three different listing agents, and one of the two listing agents tells them, hey, let's pay both ends, pay me and pay that. And then Brian goes in and Brian says, no, just you don't have to worry about their side. I just want to get paid, right? Just 1.5%. That will matter, right? Because he's going to be saving money. Seller is going to be selfish to think of themselves. That's why we have for sale by owners. They're trying to save that commission. They're like, hey, whatever the realtor can do, I can do better, or I can get the job done. So when the listing agents are going, some of them will be competing with you guys on that note. Hey, just pay me and not worry about the seller side. There's a new law and all that is not mandatory. So I don't know what the other agent said. So this is going to be a long conversation with different sellers. But you guys should know there's going to be pros and cons to both ends, right? Yeah, Brian? Yes. Mm-hmm. Dual agency. You're saying dual agency, right? You're saying one person is representing both sides? Yes. So let's just talk about that. Let's forget the second question. This is a very important one, right? So, yes, sir. Correct. So now, if the buyer does want to go there, there's no benefit to the buyer. So a lot of us, right, complain as buyer's agent, hey, the buyers are not loyal, right? So you want to make that clear with them upfront to save that client. Hey, I'm going to be representing you, right? If you go directly to the listing agent and go to their open house or try to make an offer, there's no benefit to you. Before that, they were making dual agency, they were making that, right? So let's just say, Mr. Ali, they do want to, there's a lot of buyer agents out there. They do want to take advantage of the buyer and say, hey, pay me 1% and I can make this happen for you. Right? They're still going to be, buyers still going to be paying to those agents that's going to be requiring them to pay that commission. Right? They're already getting paid from the seller side. Your buyer is still not going to be off the hook, simply put. So it's better for him to pay you and you stick with them and you represent them throughout the whole transaction. So when you're presenting when you're talking to them initially, because of these new laws, and you guys are going through this with these meetings, you guys should be educating them, right? So you don't lose out on those clients, right? There's no real benefit for that client to go to the listing agent anymore if you see this case, right? On the other hand, if the yes, go ahead, Clarence. Correct. Correct. Not up front, it will be at the closing. Okay. So again, if the seller now, right, when we have a seller's breakdown, right, usually we have, hey, in the seller's breakdown, between 3 and 4%, or for their total expense for the commission to the agents, that's gonna get reduced. So if that gets reduced, they will be happy. Like, hey, this person is telling me I'm gonna list it with this person. So this is just news. It's just getting started. Once it's like all over the place, people will definitely know about it, right? But we just wanted you as real estate agents should know that these things are happening, right? And it's going to be a big deal over the years, right? For over last past 100 years, this has not been touched, right? Just the overall commission percentage has been decreasing because of competition and whatnot. But the overall, this concept of the buyers just simply paying their agents is just not part of the game, but it will be. Okay. And like I said, it's going to be different people going to be competing with different agents going to be competing with themselves as well. Even if it's from our brokerage, from other brokerages, hey, I'm going to charge you this percent, I'm going to charge you this percent, right? There's one of our agents here which that's a good approach as well. If you want to follow that, and we'll say, hey, sign this document with me, I need to get paid 2% total. If it happens to be that the listing side is paying 1.5%, I'll charge you just 0.5%, right? Or if they pay me 1%, I'll take 1% from them and 1% from you to make that makeup of 2%. As long as these commissions are all negotiable, you just don't want to charge them an arm and a leg. Be reasonable, put yourself in their shoes as well. Know that you're competing with so many other agents out there and just make it competitive. Okay. The form Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, and this is part of your presentation. When you're talking to some of you guys, or some of us, when we get started, we just want to send them listings. Let me add them in KV Core alerts right away. Bang, bang, bang. That's great. But having a conversation, showing them, telling them the process of buying a house, right? Going from start to finish. And when the commission type comes, tell them, hey, I'm going to be negotiating your prices with them. I'm not going to try to negotiate my commission with you. I'm telling you, I get paid, I want to get paid 2% for all my hard work. I might be working with you for 3 months or 6 months. If it happens to be I get paid, less, or if I get paid 1%, 1.5 from the other side, you just got to worry about that point 0.5 or 1%, right? You want to make that clear. You are bringing value to these clients. You're going to stay professional. You're going to bring value to them, and they will stick with you if you go through that. If you don't talk about it, if it's a surprise, you guys know this, a surprise to you, surprise to me, it's always a bad sign. You don't want that, right? Just make it clear and be ethical, right? Put yourself in their shoes. You will never make the wrong decision. Okay. The form itself, it can be found in our transaction desk, your Instanet. When you're looking for these forms, if you click on the plus sign under forms, you can see where it says viewing LJ Realty forms here, and this exclusive transaction broker agreement, and it will lay out all these things for you. You guys can agree on amount. Hey, I need to get paid $10,000, $15,000, or a percentage. A percentage is always better for you because you don't know what the price is going to be. So instead of doing a flat rate, you can just do percentage, right? This is very important. We need to know what type of property that they're looking for, right? If they just be, ask them what type of property is that. Try to put more information in here, more the better for yourself. The type of property, where they want to be, which location, price range. Again, these things you already asking them in the questionnaire. Once you have already asked them in the questionnaire, just put it in here, and then have an agreement for 6 months. Should be normal, right? Some of you guys want it for a year. The client probably not going to sign it for a year because they really don't know how effective you're going to be. They don't want to be tied in, just like having an exclusive right to, sell. When you have that listing, that, seller is putting a lot, or trusting you that you're going to sell that property fairly quickly, right? So if you're not doing that, they just can't just go to another agent because they're tied in with you with that exclusive right. So same thing with this one. They're going to be tied to you. Before we said, hey, we had hard time getting agency disclosure signed. We're going to have even harder time going with this form unless you really explain it to them. Okay. And once they have signed that, basically you leave it in your transaction desk in that file, and you basically send that out. That will be your agreement that the attorney needs to see at the time of closing. Okay. Yes, sir. Yeah, yeah. No, no. Yeah. So things will change once they, you have to explain to them, hey, we are going under contract. I'm going to do everything in my power to, show you properties and, make you an offer, offers for you, and actually find you a property, right? But you cannot be working with three other agents and signing the same form. You simply can't. That's why we have a time period there. So those people who are really serious, that really, trust you, is going to sign. If you feel like, you're going to have them sign on the first meeting, I highly doubt it, right? You have to have a presentation now, just like how we're getting it, the listing side, the buyer side too. You want to show them the process. You want to show them what value you have to bring to them, and how you're going to represent them throughout the whole transaction, and tell them, I need to get paid, and this is how we're going to get paid. Okay. Yep. You're welcome, guys. All right. So this is really big. This is really important, right? You guys, we can do this case by case. Next offer you guys want to make, the best thing to do is just contact the listing agent. Hey, I'm about to put in an offer. What's the comp that you're paying? Right? So there's no questions, there's no ifs and buts later on. You get that cleared up. Okay. So, like I said, there's going to be pros and cons to this. We're going to see how the market performs, how the agents react to this. We're going to see how the outcome, that's the ongoing case for NAR, right? The lawsuit has not been done yet, just that there was been settlements from the other companies. But NAR, which is our main National Association of Realtors, let's see how that works out, right? You guys should pay attention to this just on Google News or any other news outlet that you guys pay attention to, and all these headlines are there. Okay. Any questions before we move on, guys? Anything on your mind? Okay. And then if you guys are not comfortable with this group, if you guys want to do it, one-on-one talk with me about this topic, I have no problem with this, right? So next, guys, we're gonna switch our gears to capital gain, right? So let's say you purchased a property for $500,000, and now you sold the property for $600,000. So you made a profit of $100,000, right? So if you made a profit of $100,000, what does the government want? Government wants to tax that. Anything that you guys make money off, there's a profit. Government wants a piece of that, right? So there's a capital gain tax for these properties as well. But all you guys need to know when you're having a conversation with your buyers or sellers is the following: that if you're going to live there for in that house as your primary residence, right? And you have lived there for 2 out of the 5 years from proceeding from that sale, IRS will let you exempt this. So that we just talk about $100,000 profit. Let's say you made $200,000 profit or 250. If you're a single person, up to $250,000 is forgiven. So if you made $300,000 profit now, you're forgiven for 250. You have to worry about just that $50,000 profit tax on a capital gain tax on that $50,000. Okay. On the other hand, if you're married and you file your taxes jointly, then you have a break double that. You have up to $500,000. So if you bought the house and you sold the house and you made $600,000 profit, and they're giving you a break for 500,000, you just have to worry about that $100,000 profit that you made for your capital gain. Okay. Majority of these people, when they're buying and selling, they fall a little bit below this. So this should cover a lot of your clients. But you guys should tell them, hey, I'm no CPA, I'm not an accountant, right? You should do anything regarding taxes, you should talk to them. But I just know the following, that we just mentioned. And that's your capital gain in a nutshell. Okay. Next, again, these small topics, capital gain, ROI, that about to talk about, we send you guys these surveys. We're gonna start sending this every week, right? We have 70 agents, 9 people filled out that survey, right? It's just asking you guys that, what do you guys want to see more in these meetings? Just even if you recommend 1 or 2 lines, I do the research on that so it can help others. So even if you guys are expert, even if you are starting out just brand new, just mention a couple of those things in that form, so this way we can talk about it in the meetings, right? So someone asks for ROI, your return on investment, right? So if someone is investing $400,000, $500,000, right, and they need to know what's their return on investment going to be, right? So we need to know 2 things. We need to know what is their net profit is going to be, and what was their total investment cost. What did it cost them to get that property overall, right? And what is going to be their net profit, right? So you take net profit is equal to selling the property, right? Selling price, which is minus purchase price, renovations, your finance cost, your selling cost, so all the costs put together, and your total investment, right? This includes as we just mentioned, that this is going to be the purchase price, your renovations, your financial cost, right? This is even the interest on the loan or any other cost that comes associated with that property, right? So we're going to do this example here, this very realistic example here, that if an investor wants to make $80,000, right, on their investment, and total cost was $450,000, you take $80,000, you divide it by 450, and you time it by 100, and you will get about 18% for your ROI. Okay. We already showed you one of the last meetings here, the full breakdown for investor. What would it cost him? All the breakdown there. But we're saying overall, if they want to make $80,000 profit and they're gonna have $450,000 cost, you do the math here, and it's gonna be around 18% for your ROI. Okay. Okay. Next, guys, real quick, we want to talk about your rental vouchers, right? Some of the newcomers there, when they're going through rental, they have a person, they're just starting out with OpCity, and they got 10 leads, and eight of them are for renting. And out of those eight, six of them are, they have vouchers. So we should know what vouchers are, right? And how can they help landlords as well, right? What can we tell the landlords so they can accept these vouchers, right? So first, know what is the law. If a landlord wants to list a property with you as a realtor and says, "Hey, you can put it on MLS or you can, advertise this," then that person must accept vouchers. Okay, that's just a simple law. Not everybody follows it. We can file a complaint against them, but just know that if the landlord decides to find a tenant for themselves, right, then they don't have to follow this. They don't have to accept vouchers. They can just put up a sign in their church or wherever they go to, wherever their community is, and they just put up a sign, "Hey, looking to rent," and they put their number. As long as there's no agent involved, right? They don't have to accept them. But as long as the listing agent is involved, they have to follow. The listing agent should be educating them, their landlord, about the process and benefits, right? And what are the benefits? We're going to see that, right? But city and state are providing these vouchers to people with low income, but doesn't mean they're bad people, right? Some people just discriminate right off the bat. Hey, they're accepting vouchers. Hey, they don't know what they're doing. It's not the case. Government is a helping hand, right? We all go through some hardship in our lives. You never know which person is going to go through what. But if you are a realtor and you have a client that has vouchers, you should make your job, if you're especially in the renting side, you want to find them a property. Okay. You want to be that helping hand for them as well. So what the landlord, the best thing for the most positive thing you can get out of this is that landlord can count on regular rent payments from the government. Since the government is paying directly to the landlord, sometimes they do it for 3 months, 6 months upfront call, rental payments, and then the remaining is going to be consistent because they're coming from the government. There's no issues for them not to accept these, right? And that these going to be predictable as a source of income. It's going to reduce the risk for your rental default. We're living in New York City here. Even if the person with the great credit score, great personality, hey, moves in, and then 2 months later starts switching up, acting up, right? Making Messing up the whole place, putting loud music. It's a terrible thing for the landlord. But landlord did not know any of that beforehand. The person just switched up. So don't assume that if the person has a voucher, they're gonna be, a bad tenant. It's simply not the case, right? There's some great people, they just need some help. Sometimes it's for a year, sometimes for 2 years, but you want to be part of those deals and help out much as possible, right? Talk to the listing agent, tell your listing agent, hey, this is a situation, and see if the landlord will accept the vouchers or not. Okay. And it does reduce your vacancy, right? Because they're expecting vouchers, they can get a new person in fairly quickly compared to just waiting on it, right? One of the biggest things that within New York City is that there's a lot of demand for renting. The landlords simply have other offers that's without the vouchers, and they simply go with that, right? But they shouldn't. They should see, what's the best candidate, and then they do this. So if you're a realtor, just you will hear a lot of no's when it comes to vouchers, but you got to tell your client the same situation. Hey, I'm your realtor. I'm going to try my best to help you out. Okay. Some of these vouchers for to the client, I mean, sorry, to the tenant's agent, you guys will get paid 15% of the dollars, 4,000 on the area and the rent, right? So you guys can make a good living out of that as well if you really focus. You guys already in New York City, you guys already know the process, and see, if you guys can actually help a client with the voucher. Okay. All right, guys. Next, some of you guys asked for short sale and foreclosure process. I'm not going to go through the whole process for you guys on this video, but I just want to show you how you find these properties, right? You find them on Stratus. I already saved this link for you guys. If you guys go to Stratus search and click on saved searches, under there you will see REO, Queens and Nassau, right? Once you see that, you select it and click on results, and then it will give you all the listings that are available for REO. These are all the bank owned properties. Some of them, or not all of them, but majority of them are vacant when you see a property like this on here. Okay. That's one way of finding properties. And second is going to be your auctions. We are trying to make a habit of sending you guys all the updated auctions on WhatsApp group from Property Shark, right? Some of you guys are already going to these auctions, which is a great thing. You guys trying to network, which is great. But just know that we will provide these auctions information. You guys have to take action and actually start going there. Whenever, you don't have to go there every week. Just make it a habit. It was like, hey, I want to go there once a month or every 2 months, just to see the process. You guys are already realtors, so why not be part of it, guys? Okay. So if you see a property on MLS that shows REO, first is vacant or not. If it's vacant, show that property as soon as possible. Those property goes under contract fairly quickly, right? Sometimes matter of hours, not even days, sometimes hours. They put up a property, they want to show it within a few hours, and they're gone. Some of us as realtors, we're taking action after a week later and trying to contact the listing agent. Could I show it? And they say, hey, it's been under contract for a week now, right? So you have to take action quickly on these properties. Okay. And you want to put in an offer via email. And some of these guys will have their online portals, which will have like propoffers.com or, a couple of other ones out there. But just follow those links, create an account if you have to, and submit your offer there, right? With these online portals, the listing agent gets a copy, and the lender or the bank itself, they get a copy right away. So your offers are getting submitted. Okay. Then you want to follow up on the offer. Some of you guys wait on it, a couple of days. Do not do that. One, make sure that you call when you put in an offer. It could be a regular offer or short sale offer or foreclosure. Every time you guys putting in an offer, follow up with the text message. Hey, Miss Jones, I just sent you an offer. Please let me know if there's an update. If I can expect an update by today or tomorrow. Right? You want to get answers within 24 to 48 hours. Some of you guys complain that, hey, they're simply asking me for highest and best offer, right? When that's the case, what they're indicating is like, hey, do you want to go higher? Sometimes they are bluffing. Sometimes they have zero offers and they're telling you, hey, what's your highest and best? And you probably go another $10,000, right? So those cases you don't know unless you follow up. Okay. Just remember that short sale transaction can take months to approve because the bank needs to approve it, and foreclosure offer may get accepted within days or sometimes hours. Okay. So these are a couple of our off deals now, off market deals. Some of these agents that we have here, they have connections with these open listings. They're not on MLS, they're not there, they're off market. So if you have a buyer, simply call or text this number here. Hey, I would like to show, and either the listing agent, or not the listing agent, the person who's representing this will call you guys and schedule the meeting or the showings here, right? So there's one in Brooklyn, there's one in Flora Park, right? This is a two family here in Brooklyn. There's a two family in so in Olsen Park here. This one is listed for 1.3 million, but just know there's an empty lot next to it. So whoever the investor is, most likely will knock this down and make this into a one huge, or even can build two properties here, right? So some of these guys, especially the new agents that you guys just starting out, you probably don't know how these properties going to end up with. What I would do is just take down notes for take down the addresses for these properties, and just keep an eye on it for over months and see what happens to them. Actually, do they get sold? What price do they get sold for? And if you hold on to them for even another 6 months or 8 months, you can see what the investors are actually doing with this. But that type of experience will help you be even more experienced, and you can guide your investors in that. Okay. Next, guys, we have 5 minutes left. I'm going to try to squeeze as much as possible here. Just know that there's three steps to when it comes to a new client, right? When you have a brand new client, you have one-page questionnaire. Ask them the right questions, add them to KV Core right away, and follow up for showings. If you're not following up for showings, what's the point of asking them questions? What's the point of asking or setting up alerts, right? Ask them to show up. Tell them we know how the market is. It's tough out there, right? So let's see this property and see how you actually feel about it when we are inside. Once you guys are start showing those, you're building relationship, it will go a long way, and it's guaranteed to close more deals when you have more showings. Okay. And this form here on ljagent.com, this is your one-page questionnaire. Once you have this questions here, you can literally put all this information in KV Core and within a couple of minutes and start sending them properties. We don't have to ask them those three-page questionnaire. Just this one page should get the job done. Okay. You guys already know that we can add more than one or two links or more than two alerts in KV Core. But even if you set it right, just for one alert, you can get them to under contract, just because you're going to be sending them exactly what they're looking for. Tools wise, you guys should remember ljagent.com, and there's a pin to that. We already send you guys the password. If you guys need it, so send me a message, because we're going to be recording this. We will not be posting the pins on this, and they will change from time to time. But just remember the website ljagent.com, and then real estate agent tools. Okay, it will ask you for your pin, and you will have access to all the tools that you need. There's no more dot loop, guys. So if you're looking for any transaction from the past from dot loop, we have it on our back end. Just ask for it with your file name and we can give that to you. But already see a lot of you guys creating transactions on transaction desk. That's beautiful. I saw offers going in, e-signatures. So I'm pretty sure the system is working. It's part of your membership. So thank you so much for being on board with that. Okay. And then just answering your phone calls, guys. This is just keeping you basically professional, right? You want to answer all your phone calls. If you see a missed call, call them back. If you got a text message, reply back, right? Check your emails. This is going to be on regular basis. This was makes you show that you're staying in the game. And showing equals closing. No need to say no more. You have to show it in order to close, guys. Okay. About 10 or 15 of you guys, about 10 of you guys already came to the office, signed the new agreement, which has your old commission. So anybody that's haven't done that yet, Sukman is calling you guys this week and next week for you guys to come in, and we'll make sure that you guys we're on the same page. You know which level you're on. With your commission structure. We set up Opcity if you have to. If you want to update your headshot, or if you want to order some business cards, we can help you with any of those notes. Okay. So guys, I still have more slides, but we're running out of time now because we have to start the other meeting. Any last minute questions, concerns, anything in your mind, guys? All right, guys. So we leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining. Next week, any topics, we'll send you guys a survey. Please fill that out, even if it's some minor things that you guys want to talk about. Otherwise, I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for joining, guys. Take care.